Hello, Senior 2. Welcome with our second session in our curriculum. Today we are going to talk about the second lesson in algebra, which is called operation on a function and composition of function. Now we will talk about operation of function first. Okay. The operation of function, from the title, from the name of title, we can discover that or find out that we have addition and subtraction and multiplication and divided for two functions. Okay. Now if we have two functions, f of x and g of x, and to apply the operations addition and subtraction and multiplication and dividing. First, to apply addition and subtraction, we use the ordinary methods as we add or subtract two expressions. It's easy. Okay, but the domain here is the intersection between the domain of f of x, the domain, the first domain, and the second domain d2. So the domain of addition and subtraction and also multiplication of two functions is the domain of the first function intersected with the domain of the second functions. Okay, number 3, if we have two divided functions such that g of x, the second functions, doesn't equal 0, so the domain here is the intersection between the first domain, which is the first domain of the function f of x, and the second domain of the function g of x. So minus the set of zeros, or difference the set of zeros of the second function, which is g of x, the second function which is g of x. Okay, now let's take an example to make it clear for you. Now we have two functions. If I have a function from positive real number to real number, where f of x equal to x power 2 minus 7x plus 5, and we have the second function is f of x equal to x minus 5. To get the domain of the addition of the two functions, first you have to get the domain of the first function. The domain is of the first function is r positive, the positive real number. Okay, and the domain of the second one is the domain of the second function is r, also because it's polynomial, and we know from the previous session the polynomial function, its domain is real numbers. Okay. Now, to get the domain of the summation of two function f of x1 and f of x2, we must get the intersection between the first domain of the first function and second domain of the second function. So the intersection between them are positive intersected with r, which will be r positive, and so the domain here is r positive. And to get the addition of two function, so we will add the two function easily. We will apply 2x power 2. Here we don't have like algebraic term just like 2x power 2, so it will be 2x power 2. And we will apply negative 7x plus 2x will be negative 5x. And here we have positive 5 minus 5 will be 0. So f of x plus g of x will be equal to x power 2 minus 5x. Now let's take another example for two functions, f of x equal x plus 2 and g of x equal x plus 1. So if we try to get the division between them, so f of x over g of x equal x plus 2 over x plus 1. First we have to get the domain of the first function which is x plus 2, and second function, which is x plus 1. So the domain of the two functions, each one is real number because both are polynomial. So to get the we have to get the intersection between them. So d1 intersected d2, which is real intersected real, it will be real number. So the domain of the function of the dividing of two function will be the intersection difference the set of zeros of g of x. The set of zeros of g of x will be -1. So here we have the domain of the divided of two function will be all real number minus the set of zeros of g of x, which is -1. Because if we apply -1 here in the two divided function, will be x plus 2 over 0, and we can divide by 0, so we neglect 0.